Hi, the Great Indian Kitchen, which is being streamed in some local stream platform called Knee Stream, etc. All that is fine. It's okay to be local, and we need to be vocal about it. Yeah, good, great. But now about that movie, correct? What is so great about the Great Indian Kitchen movie? I mean, what is so different about it? Yeah, it almost sounds like a parallel movie with the sound of the broom sweeping, with the tap water falling, and with the drain leaking. And for the first, the initial 1.5 hours or 45 minutes, you have to endure all that, literally enduring it because. See, for women, irrespective of whether you are a Hindu, Christian, or a Muslim, or a Sikh, or a Jain, or a Buddhist, this is the same, right? This seems to be an eye opener to so many men, as if you never knew this is what is happening in the kitchen. Really? Don't pretend. You knew this is what is happening. You know what this is what is happening. And suddenly you feel like, oh, I should go and help my mother. Oh, my wife is struggling so much. Are, leave it. Give it up. Don't pretend. The great Indian kitchen actually made your eye open, or opened your eyes, and now you're scared that your wife will walk out of the marriage and you'll have to do all this. Listen, that movie is not to convey about chauvinism or feminism, which is all predictable. And many number of movies have dealt with it, and it's the same thing, the woman walks out of the marriage. The second track of the movie, which is about the Shabrimala, the rituals of men on Nayar Tarvada in North Balbar, etc., is actually the core of the movie, which is what the director and his sponsors wanted to convey to the audience, because they failed miserably in implementing the so-called women entry into Shabrimala and be declared as Navodhanam or modernization, etc. Didn't happen. Okay. So close to elections, this was just one more attempt by the so-called Navodhanam. Navodhanam means the ushering in the new age or new era by promoting the same concept in a movie. But unfortunately, he started it in the second track. By then, the first track was so much, it inculcated so much of guilt in men and so much of fieriness in women. The second track got almost forgotten. Nobody even saw the second track. They just mildly referred to it. But that is still the main track which the director and his sponsors wanted to deliver to the audience. Clever, or what to say, childish audience, I don't know, they kind of missed it. And now the director has to fumble and say that he was also saying that if there are 10 divorces that happen after watching my movie, I'll be happy. Is that a mature director's comment to the society? Really? Then why didn't you say that, if watching my movie, 10 women decide to get into the Shabrimala temple, I'll feel fulfilled? He'll have a backlash on that. Correct? So, to avoid backlash, yet deliver the message of Navodhanam or ushering in the new era, which the current state government has been nursing for 4 5 years, and they couldn't deliver on that front, one last attempt was being made through this movie, but it became the second track of the movie. The primary track drags on so much that you kind of feel like, if you have an OCD for cleanliness, etc., I wanted to throw up. I'm like, give it up, move on. There are other corners of the house also that we women dust and sweep and spend our time. It's not just with the kitchen and the drain. I mean, my mom, my grandma, my great my mom, me, my daughter, we'll all cook, yeah. We'll all cook along with the men. Initial as the time goes, the men also come and cook. Men also start cooking, though it's not like the percentage that feminists would want. Correct? Now, if this main character of the girl had stayed in the marriage and made it work and make those two idiots of her husband and her father-in-law fall in track, or she changes them, then I would consider this movie to be the Great Indian Kitchen, because here you're making a big difference. You're saying that the kitchen is the pivot of changes in Indian society, and it is from here that she changed to what to say, bigots or dodos and those chauvinist MCPs into a completely two different individuals by the time the mother-in-law came back. Then yes, she has done something different. This movie is something great. What does she do? She just walks out here. I mean, these days, women of all ages do that. Young do, old do, middle age do, just married do. People in 60s and 70s, women also walk out of the marriage. Big deal. And what does a guy do? He marries again and he continues the same life. So what kind of a great kitchen is that? It's not. It's crap. I mean, you're wasting your time praising this movie unless you dissect it and look it into sections. It's nothing. It's nothing new. Show me a movie wherein a woman stays back in the system and corrects these MCPs. You know what an MCP is? If not, please Google. But this Great Indian Kitchen does not deserve the kind of praise that is required because it doesn't show anything new.